What's going on, guys? C93 here, and today we're going to be talking about my UI. I've been getting a lot of questions on what add-ons and weak auras I use, so in this video we're going to go over them fairly quickly. I want to make this video short and sweet. First off, we're going to talk about my damage counter. Now, my damage counter is Recount. Recount is a fairly in-depth damage counter. You can see damage done, DPS, healing done, hot uptime, dot uptime, everything. You can go through all these different little categories and see every aspect, interrupts and stuff like that. You can see what you died by, you can see what other people died by. And if you go to damage done, you can click on your name and you get a pie graph of all your damage. So you can see how many times you've cast Blade Rush, you can see the percentage of damage it's done, etc., for all your other moves. The next add-on we're going to go over is Bagnon. Now, Bagnon is my bag add-on. It's just a very simple, clean-looking bag add-on that I've had for 5+ years. Very good. It's got a little cleanup icon in the corner. Other than that, pretty straightforward. It's a bag add-on. It's going to put all your bags together. Now, I also have NugComboBar. Now, NugComboBar is this little thing in the center of the screen. It's going to pop up when you go into combat and you start generating combo points. Just a simple combo point tracker. It goes up to 5. If you go into deeper stratagem, it will add a combo point and go to 6. I know I have my combo points also in my weak auras, but I've had NugComboBar for so long, that's where my eyes go. That is why it is more in the center of my screen and the other one is kind of tucked away. I don't look at it as much. I could probably even delete it if I wanted to clear up some room, but for now it is still there. Now, the last add-on I use is why my UI looks the way it does. It is Elvui. Now, to go in depth on Elvui would take 30 minutes at least. It'd be a whole nother video for me to go in and actually show you how my UI is set up. But for this video, I'm going to do a brief explanation of what I did using it. So I have my 3 action bars right here. My first action bar is 1 to 12. I know it says number plus and number minus, but that is what 11 and 12 is on my mouse. Right above it, I have control 1 to 12. So if I hold my control key down and hit any of those buttons, it'll use that action bar instead of the first one. And then above that, I have shift 1 to 12. Same concept. If I hold shift and hit 1, I will vanish. If I hit 2, I will cloak of shadows, and so on and so forth. To the right, I have my kind of utility, just moves that I don't use that often, but I still want to have out and available if I do need to click them. Cheap shot will usually be on my action bar if I'm PvPing, but otherwise distract and pickpocket and stuff is just something I like to have on the corner, but I don't use that often. Further to my right, I have my food that I normally eat. I have my professions, cooking, leatherworking, etc. My middle mouse button is my mount button, so it makes it easy for me to copy my mount. Elvui is also why my mini map is square. That's just an option that comes with it. It's a pretty in-depth add-on. You can customize and move your bars anywhere, so I do recommend using it, but be wary. It does take a little bit of time. This probably took me a couple hours to put together. I'm very nitpicky and I kind of go overboard with stuff, but if you want to just be able to move your bars around, this is the add-on for you. Now, on to my weak auras. Now, for weak auras, I use Rogue Luxthos for Outlaw. In my first Outlaw video, I mentioned it, but I wasn't using it. I've gone back to using it. I've cleared a little bit of space out of it. I've deleted some of the buttons that I didn't really like there. For example, I've deleted the roll of bones that came with the weak aura. They were small and ineffective. I feel like I didn't notice them enough. I have used a different roll of bones. It is called Xephis roll of bones. It's a nice little group of all the icons right here. You can change the size of them, you can move them around. It shows the duration that you have left. I think it's just easier to see. I like it a lot. I move it around a little bit, but for right now, I keep it tucked underneath right here. Now back to Luxthos. Now if I go into combat, you can immediately see certain moves light up. If they light up, it means that they are off cooldown and I can use them. If they are grayscale, it means that they are on cooldown. And if they have this glittering effect around it, it means that the effect from the ability is active. Now all these things let me keep a quick eye on all my abilities coming off cooldown, because with Outlaw especially, you do have a lot of moves coming off cooldown. I have Blade Rush, Xephis, and Ghostly Strike over here, while I have my main Slice and Dice roll of bones between the eyes, and this will light up anytime there's an opportunity proc. So all these little icons show me in one specific area what is coming off cooldown, what I need to do next. It's very easy to look at and see everything at once. On the right, I have Kidney Shot, I have Gouge, and I have Kick. It's just your interrupts and your stuns. It's nice to be able to do a quick glance over and see what's coming off cooldown. Really good for like Mythic Pluses and using Rogue utility to its maximum. Now, if I switch over to sub, you're going to see my Sub Weakauras. Now, my sub one is very clean. I think it's the best for simplicity. It just shows you moves. It's very bare minimum, and that's what I like the most. I wish I had one for Outlaw, but for right now, Luxthos is very good. So as you can see here, shows I need to poison my weapons. If I poison both my weapons, that icon goes away. As soon as I go into combat, this pops up. It's very clean, it's very sharp looking. Everything's lit up, showing me that everything's off cooldown and I can use it. And as you use the abilities, they will fade away to just a normal colored, no glow around it. So we'll do, slice and dice, and then onto rupture, and so on and so forth. Everything shows the duration for how long you're using it. And it just makes it really easy to see everything right here. There's not a lot of clutter. There's not a lot of useless information. It is just what you need to know. So those are my Weakauras. Those are my add-ons. I'm going to put links in the description to everything that I use. That way you can play around with it yourself. Some stuff you might not like. A lot of it is personal preference. Somebody was asking about my gear earlier. So here's my character screen. 203 in Outlaw. I think I'm 202 in Sub. But back to Weakauras and add-ons. Just download stuff that you think looks good. Download things you want to try out. I've gone through a ton of Weakauras to find ones that I like. And you can even take Weakauras and then customize them further to your liking, is like what I did with Luxthos, where I deleted some of the stuff I didn't want. So play around with it. You'll eventually find your perfect setup. And then inevitably, if you're like me, you will change it, because I get bored with things and I'm constantly tweaking and constantly changing things. But for right now, this works perfect for me. And if I change anything, I'll throw little tidbits in further videos. But until then, guys, C93 out.